orcas, jaguars, chimps. Now, ask yourself, what singular trait do all three of these animals possess? The answer? They've all been frequently featured on Casual Geographic, a popular YouTube channel where they're often portrayed as overpowered killing machines. Now, there are differences. Can't expect a nature educator to consistently say three entirely different animals are all psychopaths. That's just ain't how education works. But this trend got me thinking. What about animals that don't exist in the real world? What animals from fictional universes would Casual Geographic feature constantly in a similar fashion to these three if they were real? Well, this video is the result. So here's the full list of the top 7 species from my personal fanfiction universe that I consider the most likely to take up these portrayals in Casual Geographic videos. Starting off, we have the great diving sturlus. A sturlus is any of many reptiles which exist on the extraterrestrial planet Osiris 32, where life really has no business existing at all, especially in the forms it does. Astronomical anomalies aside, the Sturla genus resembles an unnatural mixture of monitor lizards and iguanas and is home to the entire Sturlus family reunion, of which no Sturlus surpasses the great diving at the dinner table. And boy, oh boy, do great diving Sturlus get massive. The biggest great diving Sturlus ever caught was around 12 feet 3 inches in length. That's 2 feet longer than the largest Komodo dragon ever recorded. In fact, that's closer to the average length of an American alligator. Which brings me to another thing about great diving Sturlus. Their name, size, and reptilian nature may have fooled you, but the role they fill in their ecosystem is not the same as that of nature's vice grip. Their role is that of a grizzly on Earth. A walking waste disposal can, and I mean it, anything big enough to fit down their throat and they're going to eat it. Which is a terrifying thought because unlike crocodilians, their teeth are designed for tearing apart flesh. If you ever end up near a Sturlus, you'd best back up slowly and hope he doesn't see you as a threat. Because if he does, your time's already up. What was the first ever species to fight King Kong? The answer is Genospaphosaurus carnifex. Oh, you thought I was going to say Tyrannosaurus rex? Genospaphosaurus may be a descendant of T-Rex, but they aren't the same. With a name meaning sword-bearded lizard, the horns on their cheeks may seem to serve no purpose other than giving them their name, but you'd be wrong. Male Genospaphosaurs use their horns to square off with other males for mates. On top of that, Genospaphosaurus arms are not the small little things you see on their ancestors. No, they have goddamn sickles for hands. Dexterous serrated sickles, known to be capable of penetrating the hoods of armored vehicles and grabbing smaller animals as prey. Now, as I said before, in the case of a great diving Sturlus, your best choice is to back up slowly and seem like less of a threat. However, in the case of a Genospaphosaurus carnifex, it's likely you'll be fine. You're far too small for it to hunt. However, if you hear, say, a stampede of scare buffalo nearby, well. In number 5, we have the Vosuanian lagogwar, a species of wildcat not from Earth, but from the nation of Vosuania on planet Lyriel in the Andromeda galaxy. Lagogwars are built disturbingly similar to ligers, aka the hybrid of a male lion and a tigress, but bigger, heavier, and having the most disrespectful dental of any cat in the modern universe. Just to put it into perspective exactly how dangerous a Lagogwar is, there has been an instance where a lone individual broke into a sanctuary and killed 9 Asian elephants over the course of a single night. That said, it only got to the juveniles, but if it was any other cat, it wouldn't have killed nearly that many. Lagogwars also display many behaviors similar to those seen in jaguars, including but not limited to taking Fennis's advice and going for the head, using trees as a means of stalking prey, and being among the best swimmers of big cats, though not of the panthers. Y'all probably saw this coming, but Lagogwars are not in the Panthera genus. They're more closely related to the clouded leopard, and are in fact in the same genus as them, Neophilus. Either way, at this point, it should be no wonder that any self-respecting Vosuanian farmer considers Lagogwars the biggest threat to their livestock. They're literally designed to be menaces to society. The jungles in Skull Island may well have more ways to F around and find out than Africa and Australia combined, so it's no wonder that many species here are psychopaths. However, not one is more psychopathic than the skull bears. They may be apex predators, but at least due to the generational trauma of living on an island, where they are severely outmatched by the competition and are often prey themselves, these giant bears are not known for mercy. They're considered by the native Iwi tribe to be the most crucial animal for hunters to avoid, a massive praise given they're very, very far from the biggest on the island. There may be truth to that. I say that because, despite it being illegal to import them off of Skull Island, skull bears are estimated to kill between 250 and 500 people every year. Even the skull crawlers, the biggest predators on the island, don't top that. Skull bears are also known for raiding and destroying Vistatosaurus rex nests. Given the majority of skull bear casualties are caused by adult Vistatosaurs, I think we all know why this happens. However, despite being Skull Island's most psychopathic species, they're not the most ridiculous species from Skull Island, and believe me, we'll get to that. In third place, we have the Ravager Lizard King, aka the Vistatosaurus rex. Descendants of Velociraptor, which developed into a more Tyrannosaur-like form, Vistatosaurs would likely become the dominant species of Skull Island if it wasn't for their size. Okay, well yeah, look, that's small by Skull Island standards. Scale these guys up enough in size, and even the Megaprimatus Kong would be challenged. I say so because of not only the T-Rex-like physical traits, but also their intelligence. They're mad intelligent for no reason. They can remember faces, are believed to have different vocalizations for different purposes, and can solve complex problems. You may be asking yourself why Vistatosaurus rex ranks over genus Brachiosaurus carnifex. That's simple. Their intelligence alone places them over the descendants of T-Rex. You see, genus Brachiosaurs are about as intelligent as a dog or a house cat. Intelligent to be sure, but not intelligent enough to be noteworthy. Vistatosaurs are basically primitive corvids, smoking some Tyrannosaur pack, and we just accept it. And that's still not even the most ridiculous thing on Skull Island. In second place, we have the skull crawlers, the most ridiculous species from Skull Island. You see, I told you I would get to that. Skullcrawlers may be the most identity crisis looking animals on this list. They have the head of a mosasaur, the body plan of snakes who chose to become crocodiles with their hind legs amputated, a chameleon tongue, and teeth like those of a deep sea atrocity. On top of that, they are hypercarnivorous predators who are always hungry. No, literally, they're always hungry. In fact, their evolution literally made them forfeit the flight response because of their metabolism. But then you've got their eggs. A literal apocalypse starter pack when they're anywhere that isn't Skull Island. Because when you see more than one egg anywhere, you'd best find a way to send them back. Because it's an immediate emergency. That because skull crawlers can reproduce immediately after hatching and produce up to 20 eggs in a clutch, all of which are able to resist gunfire and take as few as 9 hours to hatch without incubation. The only reason they don't normally invade the rest of the planet is because Skull Island has basically evolved to contain the skull crawlers. Normally, I'd consider making the skull crawlers my pick for the ridiculous threat level because of their eggs alone. But there's one species that I felt just belongs in first place more. The skull crawlers may have second place because of one ridiculous trait, but our first place pick earned it by being an all-around overpowered king. Last but most certainly not least, we have Godzilla. Before you say anything, no, we ain't talking about Godzilla as he is in the movies. We are talking about his species as a collective, unmutated group. An adult Godzillasaurus is an upright, 300,000 pound absolute freaking unit of a theropod from Odo Island of the South Pacific. On top of that, they are widely considered the most intelligent non-primate species on Earth, and for good reason. Researchers believe that Godzillasaurus communicate with others of their kind via a series of vocalizations not far off from human speech, with some researchers having compared the complexity of their language to that of an adult human male. And some have even considered that it may even be speech. That's not only an unrivaled level of communication for theropods, that's an entire world of insults to what human history wants us to believe. However, their intelligence is far from the greatest middle finger to nature that Godzillasaurus have developed. Like any standard European-style dragon, they breathe fire. Well, not literally, but they do have the ability to turn methane gas into methanol, which they then can store in a sac in their throat and later spit at their prey with enough force that the stuff ignites midair. Imagine being spit on and lit up like fireworks on the 4th of July. That's an entire page in the playbook of Godzillasaurus. But that is still not everything. Being the origin point of Godzilla, it should be clear that Godzilla and Maximus are essentially immune to fallout from literal fucking nukes. However, in reality, it's more of a metamorphosis than mutation. Godzillasaurus are a species of titanofauna and thus possess special genes only seen in other titanofauna. I won't go into too much detail, but this is what allows them to transform when exposed to radiation and other contaminants. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Anyway, shout out to Casual Geographic. This whole video is a homage to his style. But yeah, this is Gonzalo Luis, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.